Hello everyone, and welcome to our session today on Microsoft has free user licenses for you. Joining us today is Donavan Lane and Tom Doran from Innovia Consulting, and we are excited to have such a fantastic turnout today. Before I pass it over to Donavan and Tom, I would like to remind you that the session is being recorded and it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library later this week for you to review and share with anyone. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to type those into the questions box. We will get them answered at the end of our session. So now I will pass it on to Tom to kick off our presentation.
Thanks, Angie. Good morning, everyone. And make sure, Angie, everyone can see my screen okay?
That is correct.
Good. Well, we appreciate everyone taking a few minutes. Obviously, this has been a hot topic over the past 4 or 5 months for sure. Innovia, and particularly Donavan, has been working for the past year and a half helping customers with their licensing. And with all the changes in the Microsoft ecosystem and the new rollout with Business Central, we felt like it'd be a good time to just share with you what we've learned and let you have an opportunity to ask us questions. So we're going to walk through just a little bit today what we have learned. And how my slides are not advancing. There we go. And so Donavan, many of you may know Donavan. He's been around for 35 years in this space, but Donavan has really taken it upon himself to become an expert in the Microsoft licensing. And he's joined on our team with a couple of other licensing experts, and we've worked closely with Microsoft over the past couple of months in particular, trying to rationalize and help navigate Microsoft's proposed policies with what makes sense for you as a customer. And so Donavan, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'll let you lead and I'll chime in when it's appropriate.
Sounds good. Well, thanks, Tom, and good morning, everybody. As Tom said, we appreciate you joining us today. Yeah, and some of the things that you're going to learn about this is there's some key things that Innovia was able to get passed with Microsoft that benefits not only our clients but all NAV clients worldwide, and we'll talk about that. But the first thing, why does this matter to you? Why does this licensing, for users, obviously matter to you? But what is so important about what we're announcing here? Biggest thing is the way that you're used to dealing with Microsoft Dynamics NAV is concurrent users. So in a normal scenario, you got a company on the East Coast, you've got 70 users in NAV, but one login ID might be for 4 or 5 people in the manufacturing plant. We're going to get to talk about that in a bit, but bottom line is, what does this matter to you? Microsoft is changing their license policy from concurrent users to named users. That means you're going to log in with your email address, and that's your user address for this inside of the Microsoft applications. And it's more than just NAV. I mean, you as a person, if you think about it, let's look at your life. You use Power BI, you use SharePoint, you use other applications in Microsoft. Obviously, you use Outlook, you use Word, and all those applications going to cloud-based are going to require you to have a Microsoft account. We call that an Office 365 account, but it's really not. It's really it's a Microsoft account. And what we've learned in licensing is you don't necessarily have to log in with your domain name, such as tdoran@innovia.com. If your Microsoft account, if you don't have a DNS switch to that, you can log in as whatever that tenant name is. And this today, what today is not a lesson in Microsoft tenant and cloud structure and that type of thing. We'll save that for another webinar. But this is about you, and this is about how this is going to change for you in the future, to give you a heads up. So in the future, when if you're already on Microsoft NAV on-prem Business Central, you are already in a named user format. If you're not, you will be soon. The next upgrade that you go to we'll talk about that in a second, you will need to go to named users. Right? So the our experience, and especially in this last year or so, is we found a good chunk of our customers are not on Business Central on-prem. I mean, they are on NAV. They're on various versions, 2009 up to 2016 even, and they're used to concurrent users right now. And what we found is that, and this is where you need to make a heads up real quick. So upgrades, many of you might have started your upgrade from say 2013 or to last year, and you probably procured a database for NAV 2018. And you've been probably working diligently on a lot of development and customization, and you've been doing it in NAV 2018. Well, heads up. As of April 1st, there is no more NAV 2018 license. You cannot get one. So those of you that have been diligently working on NAV 2018, you're going to need to contact Innovia or your partner, and you likely will not get a NAV 2018 license. So the development that you're doing, if you are in a NAV 2018 database, you're going to have to move that over to Business Central on-prem and kind of start over a little bit. Now that's bad news. Don't mean to cause fear and drama here, but Microsoft is refusing to release a NAV 2018 license. We were able to get one, and it was just worse than a root canal. We had a customer that we spent probably close to 1,000 hours of development and upgrade time, and they have not gone live yet. We did all that work in NAV 2018, and then Microsoft released a memorandum that as of March 31st, there is no more NAV 2018 licenses. We were able to get one, but chances are you won't. So just a heads up. So that's one thing. Why does this matter to you? Because Microsoft wants every user to log into their applications as a named user. Part of that too is it cuts down on illegitimate users. I mean, a named user basically means that person has to have a valid email address, and you're not going to use that software illegitimately. So one thing too is when you start an upgrade process and you transition to that, what happens if you're in the middle of an upgrade? You do need to make sure you get a hold of your partner, like I said, and make sure that your upgrade is going on to Business Central on-prem or to Business Central SaaS, or you're going to get a rude awakening. The other thing too is the process for an upgrade. If you don't know about this, but there is a 180-day window that you have to abide by with the old license and the new license. So as an example, if you're a company on the East Coast manufacturing with 70 users, the second that you apply for that Business Central on-prem named user database, you're going to kick off a 180-day ticker, we call it. So you have 180 days that you can continue to use your NAV 2016 as an example license. You continue to add users to that license, and then after 6 months, you can no longer add or change that old license. They're basically requiring you to go live on your new upgrade. So what happens if you need more than 6 months? Many of ours do. Your partner can apply for an extension of another 6-month extension, and then you do have to bring them live, basically on the new license. And that's called a license model transition, or an LMT. And that's the basis for these free licenses. And let's talk about that next. So Tom, if you want to move that slide ahead. So how do I get my free users? Well, it's easy. Basically, you're going to get them automatically. As soon as you apply or you ask your partner for Business Central on-prem, or if you go cloud and your partner is your CSP provider, cloud service provider, and they issue you the subscriptions, you are going to go to named users. And so how that works is Microsoft did a count of every person on NAV, every company on NAV, and whatever your count was on May 1st of 2019, you are going to get 3 to 1. what does that mean? What does 3 to 1 mean? Let's use an example. We've got a customer, a food customer. We do a lot of work with food. It's just kind of our forte. So one of our customers is a food manufacturer on the East Coast, and they did a tremendous amount of work in NAV. They have their own developer on staff, and they have 3 shifts, as most food manufacturers do, and they have 70 users. But when you count all of their warehouse, their manufacturing, you know, one of those concurrent users might get logged in, you know, 7 times, you know, on the plant floor, because they all share the same security policies, and that's valid. That's a valid thing to do with NAV, with concurrent users. So what happens is when in switching them over to Business Central on-prem, they needed, get this, 260 users that are named. So when they added up all the people that they have in 3 shifts that access NAV as a named individual, it was 261. So we contacted, this started probably last fall, we contacted Microsoft and we said, hey, we have a problem here. You know, the policy that you have in place for 2 to 1 doesn't work. You know, we've got, you know, a number of customers that need, you know, 3 and sometimes 4 to 1. So what we did is we developed a policy at Innovia to contact Microsoft, in particular, you know, Antonio's team, the business desk, and we had to state a case that said, hey, this customer that has, you know, 70 users, you know, a license value, renewal value of $33,000, whatever, needs 260 users. And in essence, what we're doing is we're giving them a $300,000 discount. Because if you think about it, someone going from 70 users to 261, the value goes to $783,000 worth of software, and they're basically getting that for free. So Microsoft actually was approving these special case scenarios to go to 3 to 1 users as a discount to you, as a 100% discount that both the partner and Microsoft shared. What they did is we kind of inundated the desk. So it started with 1 customer, and then it went to about 3 or 4 more. And basically, you know, Antonio with Microsoft, you know, took a new position, and he was kind of pardoning these, you know, in the last week that he was in the role of administrator for the business desk for licensing. So basically what they did is that process that Innovia started and kicked off was the impetus for them changing the entire policy to 3 to 1. And we're very proud of that. We're very proud of the influence that we have on going on behalf of our customers, knowing that we've got our customers back, and that we make sure that it's in the customer's best interest that they get the most out of their software, regardless of what we as a partner can do or make. Pretty cool. So bottom line is you will get 3 to 1 users, right? And you will get that free. And so there's a lot of questions that might come up on Q&A at the end of this. And one of them is, what about my enhancement? So if, you know, whip out your calculators. So if you've got a customer that's got 70 users, and, you know, users are $3,000 each. Well, on Business Central on-prem is $2,800 each, but just use 3,000. So that normal value of that software for 7 users is 210,000 plus change, right? You know, as a roundabout number. Obviously, there's other things that come into pricing there with tables and the basic package and extended package stuff. But bottom line is, you know, times 3. So what happens when you get 3 to 1? Well, the software value now becomes in this case, there's 210 users times 3,000, you know, is $630,000. And so what does that mean to you? Well, it means to you that you just got $400,000 worth for free. And if you can see my screen, everyone just take note of this right here. What happens with my maintenance software value? Right? Well, in this 3 to 1, you're going to get that software for free, but forever and ever and ever, you don't have to pay maintenance on those additional users. Now let that sink in. So you just got $400 and some thousand worth of software that you got free for maintenance forever and ever and ever. So normally that customer that's got 70 users, their maintenance at a value of 125 grand, your maintenance was normally $33,000. Okay. So that's pretty cool that you get $1 million worth of software for 33 grand with maintenance. Now here's the key: don't ever let your annual enhancement lapse. If you do, and there is no amnesty, Microsoft takes no prisoners. If you go to Business Central on-prem and you get you are going to get a 3-to-1 user count. Your software value is going to be locked in at protected list price. And what used to be 125 is your software, for this example of 70 users, your software value is going to go to $630,000. And if you lapse, your maintenance is going to go from $33,000 to $100,800. So don't ever let your maintenance lapse. These free users will cost you if you let your maintenance lapse. So with that, that's what this is about.
Donovan, you want to take, just before we open it up to questions, do you want to talk just a little bit? Because we've had 1 or 2 customers actually make the switch from the perpetual user licenses to the subscription licenses for Business Central SaaS. And that's a pretty nice promo that is, maybe it's not totally free, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, we this is another thing we figured out too. It's actually pretty cool. So there's a little known SKU called Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central add-on. It's called the add-on SKU. And as long as you're current on NAV maintenance, in fact, let's back the train up for just a second. Let's talk about the primary SKUs with NAV, and let's pretend you're a manufacturing company. So the cost of a premium license is $100 per person. Okay? So if you were brand new to Business Central SaaS, you're going to pay $100 a user. If you were on any Microsoft package, NAV, GP, Solomon, Exapta, you're going to get up until sometime in 2021 a 40% discount just because you're coming from an existing Microsoft application. So you get 40% off. So for the first 4 years, you're going to pay $60 a user. Right? And even that's kind of a high price compared to the maintenance you're paying for concurrent users. But there is a little known SKU called the add-on cloud SKU that, as long as you're current on maintenance, which 99.9% of you are right now, you can get Business Central in the cloud for $20. It's called the add-on SKU. Well, what does that do for you? Well, as long as you're current on maintenance, there is no correlation in the number of on-prem users to the number of cloud users. So as an example, say that you're that customer that's got 70 users on-prem, concurrent, and you want to take your software to the cloud. Well, you can do that because the maintenance, that as long as you pay that $30,000 in maintenance, you could buy 261 users in the cloud for $20 each. And if you think of the math, the $30,000 you're paying a year on the delta of an 80% discount, you're better off continuing your maintenance forever and ever and ever, just paying $30,000 a year and not paying $100 a license by a landslide. And especially if you're a manufacturing facility and you go to a device cal, so device cals are not $2.50 anymore. Device cals are $40 a piece. Well, it might behoove you to literally keep your maintenance and pay your maintenance for forever and ever, and just use the $20 add-on SKU because there's no correlation in the number of users, on-prem and the cloud SKU, and you're going to get your software for 80% off forever. Yeah. The 20% off SKU is not a discount. It is a policy. What that means is that there's no end. It's not a sugar high. It's not something that is going to go away in 2 years from now, like that 40% discount SKU. The 20% SKU is a forever and ever thing as long as you are current on maintenance. And since you're already coming from a NAV product, you have an amazing window to cash in on that. So if you don't know about that, if your partner doesn't know about that, give Innovia a shout. Give us a call. We'll be glad to share how that works. And it's available for everybody. There's no end date.
Thanks, Donovan.
Yep.
So
There's one of the
on our website that we have a bunch of other resources. So there's the licensing guide and other information. So please, visit our website for more details. But for now, we'll open it up for questions and see if we can't help you better understand. So Angie, any questions?
Tom, none have come through yet.
All right. Well, let's give them 30 seconds and see if questions come in, and if not, then we'll wrap her up and let people get back to their day.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, Angie, go ahead and take us out.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom and Donovan, for presenting today, and to everyone on today's call, or if you're watching on demand, we just want to thank you for joining us. And we do have a few more webinars coming soon. Tomorrow, June 6th, we have Floyd Chan from SQL Perform, and he's going to be presenting on Dynamics NAV archiving and compression, how you can declutter and boost your Dynamics NAV system performance by 100%. And then we have Generics Group that will be presenting on leverage warehouse KPIs to improve accuracy, boost efficiency, and reduce costs. And that webinar will be on Tuesday, June 11th. And check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's innovia.com/events. And thank you again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again soon on another Innovia webinar. Have a great day, everyone.